About 3 years ago, I was really dissatisfied with where I was at in life. I was not self-sufficient. I was either living with my parents, dependent upon them for housing, or I was traveling, but about to run out of cash all of the time. And there was no sustainability to my lifestyle. I wasn't really headed in the direction that I wanted to be headed. What I wanted was to be self-sufficient. I wanted the freedom to do what I wanted. I wanted to be creative, and I wanted to have money so that I could do those things. And at that time, I remember thinking to myself, if I could just get enough money to afford to rent somewhere and have my basic needs met whilst doing creative tasks, I would be so happy, and I wouldn't want anything more out of life. I didn't even want to have enough money left over to buy coffee. I just wanted to cover rent and basic groceries. And I said that's all I wanted. Now fast forward a few years later, I've succeeded in achieving that 2, 3, 4, 5 times over. Like, I can cover the cost of rent. I'm doing creative things for a living, and I can even buy coffees. I can go to the movies, I can go to the sauna. Like, I have money left over even. And the previous version of myself would be so stoked about that. After all, that's all I wanted for so long. But it's interesting being human and wanting things and getting things, and how it never is quite how we imagine it's going to be. Like, there's always something, like I want to make more money, or I want a better relationship, or I want a bigger house, or I want more free time, or I want to reach more people, or my music isn't doing what I want it to be doing right now. But even if it did hit those milestones for all of those things, there would still be something else. You never get to a point where it's enough. Even when I'm living the way that I live now, like, let's say I'm generating more money than I would have been a few years ago, it comes with its own problems. Like, back then my problem was that I didn't have any money, but now my problem is I have people relying on me to do things for them, because I do work in order to get the money. And a lot of the work that I do is with businesses and with clientele and brands and whatnot. And I'm working with people, liaising and arranging things all of the time. And it's very stressful, and I'm constantly worried, what if I can't get it done? If I can't get it done, then I'm not going to make that revenue this month. And it's a great problem to have, my younger self would say, because back then I was worried that I had no clients. Whereas now I have the clients, and it's like, well, now I have to deliver. And I love just creating. Like, I love just sitting down here to make this video. Like, I feel there's no pressure. But I'm still always at the mercy of the world. And we all are. We're always at the mercy of the world. And it doesn't matter if you reach the milestones that you've been seeking to reach for so long, or if you haven't even made progress toward them, you're still at the mercy of the world. And that means that so long as we're in the world, we're going to have to navigate the waves that come with it. Like being in the ocean, there's a big wave one day, and then the next day there's no waves, it's just flat. And I kind of compartmentalize life into two kind of key areas in the exterior world. One would be relationships, and then the other is the material. I'd put, money, work and stuff into the material. And only a few weeks ago I was chatting with a friend of mine who also has a business, and I was saying to him, look, this week or this month it's just like it's dead. There's no business, there's no revenue coming in. And he just said to me, well, that's just how it goes. It's like this. And Sure enough, a couple of weeks later, fast forward to now, and there's so much work and there's so much organizing happening, and I'm concerned that I'm not going to be able to deliver it all. And so now I have another problem, even though this, to my previous self 2 weeks ago, is the dream. So wherever we go, that's where we are. Whether or not you get the things that you're desiring, it doesn't really matter, because you're bringing yourself to that future moment anyway. And it's you and me. It's the human nature that causes the challenges that we perceive, because it's all in the mind. And ultimately, in the form, it's just stuff happening. You respond to things as they happen. There are so many moments now and in the past, and there will be in the future, where I felt as if nothing was going well, like everything was just going against me. And ultimately, things are always just happening. And sometimes we perceive them as happening in our favor, and then other times we perceive them as not happening in our favor. And it's simply about having the patience and the persistence to go through those phases where we're feeling like things are not going for us. Like this week, I'm really nervous about how everything's going to unfold. But if I can pull it off, then this month will be the biggest revenue month for me ever. And that's a huge accomplishment. But right now I'm in this period of growth. Like I'm learning how to figure out the logistics of organizing these people and booking this and insurance and dealing with loads of people all at the same time. And then there's a deadline, and there's Christmas coming up, and people are going to be taking holidays and all of these things. And it's so much to handle. And I really don't want to do it. But I also know that when I come through the other end, I'm going to be a hell of a lot more knowledgeable for it. And the period that you might be in right now, it might be a period that you're seeing as like not beneficial to you. You might be so far away from your goals. And what I'm saying is, that's okay. Right now, you're in a period of incubation. Like it's a period of growth. It's an opportunity. And even if you had that thing that you want in the future, you'd still have other problems there too. They'd just be different problems. Of course, it's better to have your finances and whatever in order, because at least you're not worrying about your basic needs. But even still, the issues that we come up with are always going to be relative. And I say this to say that if you're in a period right now that's tough, it's only going to last for a little while. And then you're going to end up in a period that you're super excited about, and you'll be proud of yourself, and you'll be looking back and reflecting on how far you came and commending yourself. But I want to commend you just right now, because you don't even need to get there to commend yourself, because right now this is part of it. Like you can't get there without being where you are right now. I can't move to the next income ceiling if I don't break through the current one. I can't learn the skills required if I don't jump into the deep end, be it swimming, be it in communicating with clients or whatever it might be for you. You just have to do it, and it sucks at times, and you might mess it up. I'm messing up so many things. I've realized like the last year, I've realized that I'm a terrible communicator. Like I've been really arrogant in how I communicate with people. But then I took it upon myself to learn more about that. And now I take a lot more time when I'm emailing with people. I could say like I'm wasting time being so human and polite, but also I feel a lot better at the end of the day knowing that I've really connected with the other people, like on a deeper level, more than just the business, because I think we need to look at things holistically. We need to realize that everything is intertwined. Business problems are human problems. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. And I don't actually believe you can figure it out even. Like, your success is going to come largely by accident. Of course, you're going to need to take action to make those accidents happen. But if you just do an action enough times, it's going to give you some sort of reward. There will be some fruit to reap. Maybe it's just a lesson. Maybe it's a client. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a load of money. There's always something though. And we need to do the things in order to have that reaction. You know, karma, every action has a reaction of equal magnitude. So if you're in a position right now where you're doing things and you feel like you should be making progress, but you don't think you are making progress. You just can't see it yet because you're perceiving it in the wrong way. And sometimes we have to get to a certain place, to a certain viewpoint, and then we look back and we see, oh, now I understand why those 3 weeks were so hard and why I just did those things in that manner in that moment. Because it set me up for that next action that I did take that did result in the beneficial outcome that I was hoping for. You need to zoom out. Like today I was just feeling so down and low energy, and I was like this is awful. But that experience is fleeting. And, you know, I went for a run and I moved that energy around, and then I came back and I feel revitalized and I feel inspired. You know, we forget when we're in these moments of hardship or when we're just in these emotional lulls, we forget that it's just a blip in our day, in our week, in our month, in our years, in our lifetimes. Overall, things are working out just fine. And if you are being honest and taking the steps to get toward the things that you want in this life, great things are just around the corner. If you feel like you're struggling with recognizing the value that you have to give to this world, there's a meditation that I've put in the description of this video. It's a guided meditation for confidence and empowerment, and it's the mindset shift that really made a difference for me over the last years was recognizing and affirming that I actually have skills and value to give to people. In order to achieve any goal, you have to realize that you're capable of achieving it, and that always begins with recognizing the inherent value within you, but also the learned value that you have. So check that out. You might find it helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment to say hey. I'll catch you next time.